So it's that time again. It is time for patch notes. And these patch notes are interesting. There's some stuff that I expected and some stuff that I did not expect at all. Some good stuff and some I'm like, huh, is this good or is this bad? But we're going to dive into that together. And so here we go. So these are the patch notes. I'm gonna have a link in the description below. Henry also made a video, so if you want to see the video version of his patch notes, feel free to watch it. But first off, they have solo raids and dungeons. So solo raids, this is coming to Lost Ark here in the West faster than in Korea, which is great. So solo raids are basically what it says. Raids that you can solo. Walton Vicus, Cockle Satan, Belshazzar, Triangle. You can do it all the way up to even Ivory Tower and Akan. So these are all solo raids that you can do by yourself and you don't have to be in a party with anybody, which is really, really great for a new player. So with this, as we know, it comes with these kind of buffs that we can give ourselves because we are solo, we don't have a party. So we can get ourselves like Yearning buff, we can give ourselves like, actually, let's take a look at these together. You can perceive without any buffs, proceed with additional sidereal meter. You can have increased stagger, always gain back attack, front attack, so no entropy becomes hitmaster, recover HP, so vampirism, I guess, and then you have a yearning buff, move speed, attack speed, all that stuff. And I think there is a one for support as well. Since this person isn't a support, I guess they don't see it. So there's one where when you're a support, you get brand on the enemy and you do additional damage to them. And we've seen in KR that, unfortunately, you still need a support DPS build to make solo raids work for supports, but it is still a nice thing for everybody to be able to do. And with the free 5x3 engravings and gems, we can make those builds pretty easily, which we'll go into a little bit. But with this, we're going to get a new currency, which is for clear metals. Basically, we're getting rid of the old kind of Brel, Clown, whatever condoms that we had, and we're just turning it into one currency that we use, and we can use them at the solo raid exchange shop. We can get more materials, more kind of upgrade materials for honing materials, and we can also get more of the kind of raid materials. So pretty decent. It's a good change for new players, which is great. But we knew this was coming. But the thing that we didn't know was coming was that we are actually going to be getting a Voldus event Powerpass and a Super Mokoko Express. So this was extremely unexpected for me because typically Powerpasses last about like 4 months or so. And I'm like, well, if they're making tier 4 come out in September, it doesn't make sense for them to give us a Powerpass now and then also give us a Powerpass in September because that'll be 2 months and not 4 months. Well, it looks like they have made this Power Pass last until September 25th, so a shorter Power Pass, which lets new players jump into the game now, and I'm assuming when Tier 4 comes in, we'll get another Power Pass and another Mokoko Express, which is actually really amazing. This also kind of hints and teases at when Tier 4 will be coming out, and it looks like September 25th is the day that they will be coming out with Tier 4 in Season 3. So it's not going to be on the second week, it's going to be on the third week of the month. So there is that. And that's actually great because originally I was worried because TwitchCon was supposed to overlap with Behemoth and Tier 4, and all the creators are going to be gone for TwitchCon. So I'm glad that they didn't do that, and it's coming after TwitchCon. But yes, Mokoko Express is also happening, and you're going to get honing buffs all the way up to 1600, which is great. And then we are also getting more rewards for endgame. So we're going to get extra endgame reward clear stuff. So I guess it's like those little boxes that we get at the end. We're going to get it for Kaya. We're going to get it for Akan, Ivory Tower, Theamine, and Echidna, which is going to be great. Every character gets this, and this event will last until September 25th again. So extra rewards, amazing. And then we have the Maharaka Festival, and it's going to be like, you know, the new event shop, things like that. New playtime rewards, which is great. And we're going to be getting a small little update gift, which is awesome. But wait, that's the end of the events. Didn't they say that we were getting something akin to the Path of Soul Eater or Descend to Darkness for, you know, this update? I'm not entirely sure what happened to this, but my guess is they probably negotiated with Smilegate to give us this Powerpass and Super Mokoko Express in place of an event like the Descent into Darkness or Path of Soul Eater, which I have a little bit of mixed feelings about. I think it's overall positive because this is the time for new players to come in. This is the time for, free engravings, solo raids, all this stuff that's very new player friendly. So if we didn't receive a Powerpass and a Mokoko Express, it would have been really tough for those new players to play the game. It would have been tough for them to progress and to do everything. But now with this, they actually are given an option to get to the end game quicker and have a easier time honing up. Now, what that means is, for any of us who had characters that were waiting for this kind of Descend into Darkness event to come to hone to 1620, unfortunately, we are not going to be getting any help honing to 1620. We are going to get some additional mats from this extra rewards event, but we're not going to be getting any sort of honing buff or any extra books or anything like that from 1600 to 1620. So that's kind of unfortunate for a person like me who was waiting for this to get another character to 1620. But I think it's overall a positive thing because, as we know, Lost Ark doesn't have that many new players. The new player experience is terrible. So having these Power Passes and Mokoko Expresses alongside with all these changes to solo raids and also for the new player experience, I think is very, very good. So it's kind of a give and take, right? Well, so that is that. Next thing, we have some new cosmetics, which you can guys can watch this video from, again, the link below. And then here we go again, tier 3 engraving support. We are getting the free 5x3 engravings for every single character starting at item level 20 or 1250 and higher. So this is really amazing. This is going to be amazing for anybody who is a new player, anybody who is an existing player, just free engravings for everybody, which they should have done a long time ago. And then they also added it so that we get some honing buffs as well. So silver all the way up until 1540. And then there's also a honing nerf or honing buff, I guess, all the way up until 1580. So it's going to be easier to hone up to 1580, which is expected, and it's awesome. I can't wait. And then they are actually making changes to where you are going to be reducing the cost of crafting Vault and Vicus gear from gold to silver, which is great. But all this will start at 0 quality rather than a random value, because you can actually just cheese this and just spend a bunch of silver to get your quality up, I guess. Some of you guys might be like, oh my gosh, well, now I have to pay for quality taps out the, off the bat, right? Well, one, they had a thing where they give out a lot of these free kind of tapping, like quality tap items. So that kind of helps alleviate it a little bit. And also they are, making it free. It's silver now. So instead of spending that gold on crafting the gear, which you would have to spend 500 and 1,000 before, you can now go and just tap the quality upgrade. It's basically the same thing. It's actually a little bit cheaper, I think. So there is that. So it's basically the same as before. So before you guys get up in arms and be like, oh my gosh. Well, one, Vicus Vault and gear doesn't really matter all that much at this point. But two, you can also go and quality tap it right afterwards, and it'll be basically the same / less gold. So they're also reducing the gold crafting cost for Belshazzar gear and Akan gear, and upgrading to set level 3 and ability stone. So that's all great. And then for elixirs, we know all the new elixirs that we're getting from here on out are going to be cheaper. Your old elixirs, unfortunately, will be staying the same, but the new elixirs will cost 3 catalysts instead of 5, and their cost will be 140 instead of 280, which is actually interesting. I'm pretty sure in Korea, their change was actually 150, but I'm not. And then additionally, we're also getting double the mats and double the weekly crafting limit, and then also the transcending nerfs. Like, we knew about these coming up before this. And then they are also giving us Fion reduction. So what they are getting in KR, where the cost for buying amulets, the cost for buying accessories, the cost for buying bracelets, all that is being reduced, which is very nice. We're getting that a little bit earlier. And then they're giving us Procion's Protection and Arcturus's Touch. So the new player buffs are going all the way up until Ivory Tower. And then we are getting the free gems. So free level 7 gems starting at 1540, which is amazing. Again, you will buy these at the new coin shop, the solo raid shop. All your old like Brel, Akan, Clown, those condoms are going to be converted to this coin. So don't worry if you're not doing solo raids or haven't done solo raids, you'll have an excess of these right off the bat if you have been playing the game for a while. And then they're adding these growth missions, which is interesting. I don't really know the details of this. I don't think anybody has really talked about it too much in KR, but this is a change that was also added to KR, which is supposed to help players navigate all the way up to item level 1600. So starting at level 50, and you'll be able to get these quests that will give you, and you have to finish this quest. I don't know where this quest is, but starting at level 50, after finish this quest, you're going to be able to get some missions to help you learn the game and grow up to 1600 for every single character. So this is really interesting. I wonder if it's going to give mats and stuff like that. They said there's daily, weekly roster missions that are automatically given to players, like Chaos Dungeon daily mission. Like, I would hope maybe these gives extra mats for characters to go and, you know, help hone, but I kind of doubt it, because like they say here, you can skip a mission. But I think this is still a very welcome change, because it actually gives players guidance on what to do every day and how to progress your character, which a lot of players just didn't know how to do that when they got thrown into the game after a power pass. So this is very helpful and appreciated for new players. We'll see how good it is though. And then we got another stronghold buff here. I don't know what item level this goes up to, but I'm assuming that this might be just the change for the honing nerfs that we got. So all the way up to 1580 is my guess. But that's nice. And then we also got some raid gold changes. I swear they said that they weren't going to change it for us yet, but maybe I was mistaken, and it was just that they weren't changing it all, you know, until after Kaya and Brel, which is what they did. And there's actually something really interesting in here as well, which I'm thinking might be a typo, but maybe it's not, and that would be really nice. But they're basically changing it so that we're getting gold nerfs all the way up to Kaya. Akan and Ivory Tower will still not be nerfed. And in addition to that, we are also getting, from what I can tell, an extra 1,000 gold from both Akan Normal and Akan Hard. Because if we look here, we have this chart right here from the Lost Ark wiki. Let me kind of minimize this a little bit to make it easier to compare. But as you can see here, in this new version, we're getting 1750 from Gate 1 Normal, 2250 from Gate 2 Normal, and 4500 for Gate 3 Normal. But we can see the old values over here. We don't get 1750, we get 1500 from Normal, which is a little bit confusing. And then with this one, we get 2250 from Gate 2, 22, and then this one's 2000, and then 4500 from Gate 3, and this one's 4000. So we're getting 8500 instead of the 7500 from the old version. And also the chest rewards have also been nerfed in cost. So 450 here, 900 here, 550 here, 1100 here, and then 750 here, and we get 1500 here. So they're cutting costs by a lot, and they're giving us extra gold rewards. And this also applies to hard mode, right? As you see here, 2250, and then we get 1750 here, 2750, we get 2500. Like, we're getting extra gold, which is, I think, is probably a typo, but maybe not, and that would be great. And for the reason why I think this might be a typo is because Ivory Tower, even though were getting a gate removed. They said that they're keeping the gold the same, and these values are the same. I added it up, and it's still the same amount of gold that you would get from before. But a con, we are getting a gold buff. So I'm not entirely sure. It would be amazing if this was the case, but who knows? And as expected with solo raid gold rewards, they are scaling with our gold rewards rather than Korea's. So because we didn't get a nerf for a con, our gold for our solo raid in a con is going to be higher than in Korea's. As you can see here, it says 1600 for gate 3 solo rewards, whereas we can see in this video with Tofu, it is 1300. So we are getting a little bit more gold from our solo raids compared to Korea in these 2 raids, Con and Ivory Tower. But yeah, that's what's coming with the gold changes. We're getting the Echidna epilogue, and then we're also getting the art contest stuff. And here is the biggest update of all, guys. The biggest update. The time to launch the game has been decreased about 40%. Guys, we won't have to sit in the loading screen for 10 years anymore. At least that's the hope. That's what they're saying in advertising. If this is true, that would be amazing because it takes forever for a goddamn game to launch. But that is it for the updates, guys. As I mentioned, there were some interesting changes in this update. Some good changes like this gold buff, I guess. We're still not sure if it's gonna happen, and I think overall the Mokoko Express is also a good change that we didn't know about. But then there's also some questionable changes. I mean, well, Mokoko Express taking away the Descended into Darkness, I guess, is kind of questionable, right? And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think it's a typo? Are you happy with the changes? Are you happy with Mokoko Express instead of Descended into Darkness? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications. And also, I stream on Mondays through Fridays from 1 to 7 p.m. PST, and Saturdays and Sundays at the old time, 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully I see you guys on my stream, but if not, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.